This is a bulletproof vest made of Kevlar, a ballistics-resistant fabric. Now, police officers wear them, and they've saved more than 3,000 lives. But not every department buys them, though in Hartford they do. And tonight, several officers anonymously confided in the I-Team about their vests being outdated. The union admits that number grew to more than 100, but the chief tells us it's a lot more complicated than that. And after the I-Team started investigating, the department fitted 175 officers for new vests this month.
They are Hartford's finest, the brave men and women in blue. More than 460 officers hired to secure the safety of Connecticut's capital city, putting their lives on the line day in and day out, chasing and confronting murderers, rapists, armed robbers, and other criminals.
It is imperative that officers feel safe and confident when they perform their duties to protect our community. It's very important to me.
And yet several say they're not 100% protected by basic body armor. They tell the I-Team their vests are expired, outdated, being worn beyond the manufacturer's recommended 5-year guarantee. One officer even showed the I-Team his vest mended with duct tape. In this one, it's nearly 7 years old. Others texted or told the I-Team, quote, "I've had mine 8 years. They're way behind on ordering and reissuing. I got mine in '04 and haven't gotten a new one since." The officers told the I-Team they weren't looking to blow the whistle on HPD administration or the city, but they're worried they could die. And they say they went to the union last April, but still don't have new vests.
That's why we brought it to management's attention. That, hey, we're hearing complaints of the guys are wearing vests that are past the 5-year mark. And when we brought that to their attention, their response was, we're aware of it, we're working on it, we're in the procurement process. Yeah, we had a number of like 122 that were going to expire.
Chief Roberts says it's the officer's responsibility to know when it's time to get a new vest.
And I'm dismayed that they would tell you that they're wearing something they think is unsafe and not bring it to management so we could take care of it. That just boggles my mind. Until I go to the union and say, listen, we need new vests. What is the chief doing? That's just crazy.
But officers tell the I-Team they continued complaining, voicing their vest concerns at union meetings, some even to their superiors. Quote, "I've asked for a new vest a couple different times. I was always told we don't have a vendor or it's going to be a while. We were told to wait over and over."
Put it this way, no one has ever been denied body armor, ever. At least none of my administrators.
When we went back to the chief and told him what the union said,
they brought to my attention, I don't recall it, I'm in error. There was some concerns about it, and people talked about it, and we've addressed it, but it didn't get to the point where it was a danger to our officers.
You could take a 9mm with 1,700 feet per second and shoot it right here. It'll probably only get to the second layer, which is an incredible amount of protection.
According to body armor experts, including vendor Ed O'Neill, who owns this supply store, over time the Kevlar in these vests can deteriorate, add in normal wear and tear, heat and humidity, moisture, and more.
The 5-year warranty is a very strict warranty, so what they've done is taking all that into consideration. And again, the point is you can't have a vest that's 90% effective, it needs to be 100% effective because of the importance of saving lives.
What's the oldest round of vests within the police department?
If I had to give you the exact number, probably less than 3 years, maybe 2.
Just 3 weeks after the I-Team started asking questions, the department responded. Initially, we were told the officers would be fitted for new vests starting January 23rd. Then, this internal HPD memo issued a day later called for 4 voluntary vest fittings.
We've been dutifully and diligently trying to make sure that we outfit our officers with the most safest equipment.
According to purchase orders obtained by the I-Team dated May 7, 2010 from the City to Security Uniforms of New Britain, 175 new vests costing $100,625 were ordered. Here's the checks cashed by that company for that amount and more last July. Of that, 37 vests went to the newest graduates of Hartford's Police Academy last summer. 2 more went to a lieutenant and officer Dave Rajan, who was shot 3 times last July. Back then, authorities told the I-Team Rajan's vest prevented one of those bullets from penetrating his skin. The last vest he was issued before that in 2004 after graduating the academy.
If it was past, say, quote, the 5-year manufacturer's recommendation, it worked.
That leaves 136 vests remaining from that initial order of 175. This purchase invoice from the city shows all were signed for as received, but never delivered. One officer whose signature this belongs to says the vests haven't technically been ordered. They can't be, he says, until they're custom fitted for.
I can tell you right now that we did not, in May, we did not order 175 vests.
It clearly shows that you signed off for something that was never delivered.
They needed my signature to release the money, and then once the money is in place, my responsibility was to have these vests fitted for individual officers and received.
But an email to the city spokeswoman from the finance department clarified, quote, "I would think it should be a policy that only items that are in receipt be processed for payment." After Hartford's body armor bidding process last April, the chief says they had a vendor picked out, but then that vendor went bankrupt. The chief says the department piggybacked off the existing state contract to pre-purchase and pay for the vests.
No matter what happened, we took care of it, and we took care of it in a timely fashion.
But if there are over 100 officers that have outdated vests, isn't that a huge problem? Because that's a huge portion of your department.
Yeah. But Jill, here's the thing. That's the reason for that delay. It ain't like I say, hey, we just going to ignore them, which we did not do. Vacations happen. Life happens. Issues happen, and we kept pushing for it regardless. If you had a company went out of business and they had what's a reasonable time?
According to that state contract, payment is based on the delivery of the goods happening first.
Do you think the ball was dropped somewhere?
Well, I just think that the city and the department really has to re-examine the procurement process, when it comes to issues like this and it becomes an issue of officer safety, that maybe they modify it to a degree where it happens quicker.
Chief Roberts says once the order for the February fittings is placed, those new vests should be delivered within 4 to 6 weeks. Meantime, many officers will continue wearing their old ones while they wait.
Although we know they're safe after 5 years, we want the officers to feel safe in that vest. Is it like we want our citizens to feel safe?
Most likely that this is still effective, and that's the trademark. But I could not guarantee that, and I certainly wouldn't want to put my son in this. If my son were to be going out and have a threat, I would not want to give him this vest.
Now, the city spoke with the city's old vendor who worked for the city from 2004 to 2009. In those 5 years, he says he was never paid for vests until after they were delivered. The I-team also heard from security uniforms. President Ross Gottlieb told us, quote, "The funds were applied to outstanding invoices for recently delivered armor, leaving a balance of approximately $79,000. The intent was for the balance to be drawn down in the fulfillment of future orders," adding it is a common business practice. Also, the state director of procurement explains, quote, "The products have to be delivered before you pay, and the contract, quote, has to be used in accordance with the true terms and conditions." Jill Konopka, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.